Hello, everybody. Michelle Smith from Delightful Infusion, the key to positive change. And this is Lunch and Live. So happy that you are here today to be with us to talk about 7 tips to advance your career. That's what we're here to talk about. 7 tips to advance your career. And I am going to share my screen. All right. So if you pre-registered for this event, you have this handout in your email. And this handout, I want to just call your attention to it. Of course, this is the Lunch and Live. And thank you so much for being here. And so we welcome you. Let's have lunch. And this is your weekly infusion of positivity, faith, information, encouragement, and joy. Come with an expectation of goodness, grace, and growth. And that is exactly what you will find. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend. We do this every Thursday at noon. And I would be so happy to have you on the Zoom with me and or in the Delightful Infusion group, taking a look at this. All right, today is Thursday, April the 7th, 2022, and we are talking about 7 tips to advance your career. Oh, all right, we want to talk about this today. So, just a little background. I'm a career coach and I have several coaching programs, but one of the things I really love to do is to help young women find their purpose and pursue a fulfilling career. I absolutely love to help people do that. That's something that's been a part of me since I was very young. I think I got it from my dad because he did things to help people find fulfilling careers in their lives. But in my adult life, I've had 3 major careers since I graduated from college. Now, my first career was not one that I chose. How many people out there actually started their first career in whatever they actually went to school for? If you did, I am so happy for you. I did not start my career in what I went to school for. And you may, whether you went to college or not, how many out there, their first job that they spent a lot of time on really wasn't what they thought it would be or it set out to be? Well, when I was job searching back in 1990, yes, I just told my age, the United States had troops in the Persian Gulf, and there were economic pressures related to all of that activity abroad. And so recruiters started canceling their appointments to come to schools to interview applicants. And the interviews that I was in the middle of first round, second round interviews with companies. Those companies said, oops, we have just announced a hiring freeze. I am so sorry. We really, really liked you, but we have decided not to hire at all. One of the companies that I interviewed with was the Prudential, and I interviewed for an operations management program because that was my major, and they decided to cancel the program, but they liked me a lot. So they said, hey, we have this underwriting class opening up. Would you like to interview for that? How many of y'all know I said yes, because a sister needed a job. I needed a job. Let me tell you something. I didn't even know what underwriting was when I said yes. Of course, I had to be a quick study, and I actually got the job. And that job turned into a 23-year career in insurance and financial services. So after a while, and around 2013, I moved on from that career and I built a real estate business. Loved real estate. I'm still a licensed realtor. Excuse me. But in 2018, I started a career in government contracting and doing really interesting work, recruiting, program management, organizational development. Absolutely loved it because my master's degree is in human resources. So it took all that time to get to a point where I was doing work that I went to school for. I did work that I went to school for in my insurance career as well. But this final career was so rewarding because it was exactly organizational development is a human resources discipline. I absolutely loved it. So in the course of those 3 careers, I made it all the way up to the executive level on 2 of them. And of course, when you have your own real estate business, you're the CEO of your business. But I'm not telling you all of this to brag. I'm telling you this to explain why I want to share with you 7 tips for advancing your career. You have to be intentional about advancing your career. It's not just going to happen. You really do have to have certain beliefs and you have to be intentional. And my job as a career coach is to help you find your next fulfilling job or career, or help you advance in the career that you are in. Absolutely love to do it. So I'm going to go over these 7 tips. Number 1, never think that you are too young to advance. Never, ever think that. I started out in that underwriting class. I was the youngest person in that underwriting class. Most of those people were older than me, if not all. And when I came out of training and went out onto the underwriting floor, there were some people who were close to my age, but I was really pretty much one of the youngest people there. But I worked really hard. And before I knew it, I was a senior underwriting case manager. So never think you're too young to advance. People really do look at hard work. And one of the great things about working in an office environment is it's a level playing field. Everybody's on a first name basis. It's not like when you are in, for example, the neighborhood and someone is 20 years older than you. So of course you're calling them Miss this, Mr. that. In a business situation, everybody's on a first name basis. And that's really interesting. It was something I actually had to get used to in the business world that, oh, okay, everybody's on a first name basis. We're all underwriters and this is what we're doing. And so never think you're too young to advance. Hard work will pay off. Number 2, look ahead through a long-term lens. You've got to look long-term. You've got to think, okay, here I am in this job with this company, working in this industry. What's going to happen in the next 5 years? What's going to happen in the next 10 years? What's my plan? How am I going to advance? What education am I going to get? What certifications am I going to get? What am I going to do to realize my goals? You have to look through a long-term lens. And number 2 is connected to number 3. Number 3 says, at meetings, look around the room and assess the state of the company and the industry. I cannot overstate this. When I was in the insurance industry, I looked around the room at the company. And then when I went to industry events, I looked around the room and I saw a lot of old people. Now think about it. I'm right out of college. I'm 23, 22, 23, 24, 25 years old. I'm going to these industry meetings and I'm seeing people in their 50s, in their 60s, even in their late 40s. And most of them were that old. And then I began to realize, because the insurance industry is probably over 200 years old now, but certainly was over 100 years old then. And so I realized, Michelle, and I said to myself, Michelle, if you work hard and learn everything you can from these older people, you will be in their position. You will be in their executive position one day because they're going to retire. They're going to leave and they're going to need somebody to step up. And it was so clear to me. And so I made a plan that I was going to work really hard. So that goes to number 4, commit to excellence. Commit to excellence on the job and do it despite those around you, despite those around you who are committed to mediocrity. And let me explain and really tell you this. And Many of you already know this. There are going to be people around you who are committed to mediocrity. They're going to be committed to doing just enough work so that the supervisor doesn't think they're, sleeping on the job. They're just only going to do the basic just enough, moving papers around their desk to look like they're working. And if you are really working and really doing your job and really focused on, meeting your goals, they're not going to be happy with you. Let me explain. Let me just really let you know. They're not going to be happy. And I can't tell you the number of times people said to me over the years, why do you work so hard? Why are you working so hard? But they didn't realize I wasn't working unto man. I was working unto the man upstairs. That's who I was working as unto. And so it was important to me to do a good job because the work ethic was instilled in me by my parents. And so I want to instill in you that work ethic because I want you to know if you are looking to advance in your career, this is one way you're going to stand out from the crowd. Quality and quantity, dedication, going above and beyond, all of those things are going to help you advance in your career. So number 5, let's talk about number 5. As you commit to excellence, believe that you can do the hard things. And I put hard in quotes on purpose because many people perceive something to be hard. But if you prepare yourself, if you are a lifelong learner and learn about it, if you look ahead and anticipate, you can prepare yourself to do things that other people are just not prepared to do, and they're going to feel like it's too hard. I've had this happen to me directly in my career. I had a colleague once tell me that I would never be able to improve a process that my CEO assigned to me to improve. Well, how many of y'all know I just went and proceeded to go on ahead and improve that process? And truly, I thank God because I refused to believe that I could not do the hard thing. And it wasn't that hard. It took some focus. It took some thought. It took some working with other team members to figure it out, but I did it. And I'm going to tell you, I got some of the best praise from my CEO that I had ever gotten up until that point in my entire career for the work that was done. So commit to excellence despite those around you who are committed to mediocrity, and believe that you can do the hard thing. Let's go to number 6. Treat everyone, from the cleaning people to the CEO, with dignity and respect. This is very important. Treat everyone, even the naysayers that tell you you can't do what you know God is equipping you to do. Treat them with dignity. Treat them with respect. What this does is it speaks volumes about your character, and people will remember that. People will remember your graciousness. Sometimes people say, oh, well, people take your kindness for weakness. No, you're not crazy. You're crazy like a fox. You're going to treat them the way you want to be treated because everybody's watching how you're going to act and react. And when people really want a quality person to take care of something important, they're going to remember your level-headedness. They're going to remember that. So definitely treat everyone from the cleaning people to the CEO with dignity and respect. And you know what? That's what God wants us to do. Number 7, dress for the level that you want to achieve. This is very important. The first impression that people get when they see you is how you are dressed. Dress for the level that you want to achieve. Look at what the managers, how they're dressing. Look at how the CEO dresses. Now, of course, You got to have common sense depending on the type of job you're doing. Some jobs, you have to wear certain uniforms, but there are things you can do to make sure you are always put together. No run over shoes, no faded clothes, no jacked up hair. Yeah, I said jacked up. Everybody has a bad hair day sometimes. Okay, so let me just stipulate to that. Everybody has a bad hair day at times, but on a regular, on the normal, let it be that you come to work well put together, ready to work. And I'm going to tell you, it makes a difference. When people are thinking about promoting people, they are going to be thinking about how you treat people, how hard you work, whether you are afraid to do new things or whether you embrace new things, whether you're a lifelong learner, and whether you will fit in at that higher level. And so dress for the level that you want to achieve. I really believe in this. I believe in this even now that I am the CEO of my own business. Because see, when I come on these lives, I don't know if you've noticed it, but my business-like lives, my lives with regard to Delightful Infusion, some of you are friends on my personal Facebook page. So of course I've done, lives casually and all of that. But I present myself in a way that I feel honors you because you're worth it. You're worth it. And the same quality that I'm coming to you and making sure that I'm presenting myself in a positive manner is the quality that I will bring to coaching you to higher levels in your job or your career. So ladies, the common denominator for all these tips is to have an unshakable belief that God wants you to be successful. I call this God esteem. You have to believe that he wants you to be successful, because if you think he's against you, then what's the use, right? So make sure you know that he wants you to be successful and that he has given you the ability to achieve. You can do it. That's what I want you to understand. You can do it. And your unshakable faith must include certain things. So I want to kind of go through, walk through a belief map here. There's some things you've got to believe if you are going to advance in your job or advance in your career or move to the ideal job that you really want and stop working that dead-end job that's sucking the life out of your soul. So you have to think about and say to yourself, I'm not too young. And you know what? You also have to say, I'm not too old. I'm not too old to do this. There is a long-term plan for my life. I have been set up for a scenario that will work out for my good. These are basic things you've got to believe. If you believe that, then you'll roll up your sleeves and you will work. Because why? Because it will be worth it. And you have to believe that it'll be worth it. There's nothing you cannot do without the help of God, with the help of God. So there's nothing that you cannot do with God's help. All right? Because of this confidence, you don't have to be intimidated by higher ups. You can be confident and you can have love in your heart to treat other people, no matter what their station, well, right? You can have that mindset to not look down on others, because you don't have to look down on somebody else to feel good about yourself, right? You can treat everyone the way you want to be treated. And then you can believe in your success so much that you even dress the part. This is the unshakable belief that I want to deposit in you. This is the delightful infusion for today. Believe in yourself and believe that God wants you to be successful, because it's your destiny and you're walking in your victory. I want to thank you so much for being here today. If you received the handout, there is a page that I want to call your attention to that you can sit down and do some planning and thinking about your ideal job or career. You can do some planning and thinking about what you want to do either to get your ideal job or if you already have it, to advance in your career. If you want this packet and you don't have it, just send an email to delightfulinfusion@gmail.com. Just again, send an email to delightfulinfusion@gmail.com and I'll send you the packet. There's some discussion and reflection questions. In your private time, take the time to look these over. Are you currently applying any of these 7 tips to your work life? And how? How are you doing that? Are there any tips that you need to begin to apply? Are there any barriers to applying those tips? Think about that. Reflect on that. Could you benefit from career coaching to explore how to get your ideal job or how to move up in your career? Do you need help even figuring out what your ideal job is? Coaching helps that too. If you're not sure what is, my life purpose or what am I suited to do? I have no idea. Coaching will help you with that. Also, you can right now coach yourself. Coach yourself. What is the one thing you can do this week? I know it's Thursday. What can you do this week to move in the direction of your goal, your dream, your career, or your job transformation? Write it down. And don't just write it down. Say to yourself, okay, when am I going to do this thing? Get a date and a time. Schedule it. Schedule it. Now, that you're not done, who are you going to tell that you're going to do this thing by this date, by this time, so they can hold you accountable? Who are you going to tell, and when are you going to tell them? Okay, I'm drilling down. I'm helping you coach yourself, because if it's in your head, it's a dream. If you write it down, it's a roadmap. If you schedule it, it's an action plan, and you will realize your goals. Well, my name is Michelle Smith of Delightful Infusion. I'm so happy you've been here today for Lunch and Live. We do this every Thursday at 12 noon, and I promise to keep you just 30 minutes or less so that you can get back to your busy, busy day. But remember, we offer career coaching and we help women find fulfilling careers that are congruent with their life purpose. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your day.